The last time they met was in the test event in London in February, and Meares beat Pendleton in the semi-finals. I'm just wondering if that's going to be on the mind of Victoria at this stage.
She hasn't had a great ride through this far. Sprint's not gone the way that she's wanted it. Team sprint as well was something of a disappointment after London. But we've seen her bounce back before.
Well, let's hope she can do it here. It's so important. This, of course, is the competition everybody wanted to see for the final, but there we go. It's semi-final stage. Now then, getting towards the sharp end here of Heat 1. Race 1. Now then, Pendleton looks as though she's going to lead this one out from the front. Yep, fully committed. Exactly as you predicted, Chris. Now Pendleton needs to get that high leg speed to ward off the challenge of Meares. Meares starting to come onto the shoulder now of Pendleton, but Pendleton's working really hard, trying to hold off Meares as they come down the finishing straight. There's a crash there. Meares wins race 1, and Pendleton has slid all the way down the finishing straight, and she's thrown her helmet off. I don't exactly know what happened, whether they just came together.
Well, it was a touching of elbows, actually, and of course that's your steering. Anna Meares really didn't want that to happen. It wasn't intentional at all.
I think they were so committed
sometimes in sprinting. Yeah,
so committed, Chris, to get to the line first, and they were absolutely on top speed. And of course Victoria Pendleton really went down and slid along. Let's have another look at this.
Meares coming around the outside, and you can see how close together they are. Elbows out there, touching each other, and oh, it's actually Pendleton.
Yeah, Victoria
just
Pendleton
came out to the sprint line, and wasn't Anna Meares' fault there.
She put her hand up, as much as to say, it wasn't my fault. And you're right, Chris, she came out of the sprinters' line. Here's another chance to see it. That's where they lock, or at least they
just touched.
Yep,
and
down she went.
Just takes the weight off the front wheel long enough that it just slides away.
Well, that result will stand, and how shook up is Victoria Pendleton. Well, Pendleton has come back from one down before, taking it to a decider. So much at stake, isn't there?
Very different types of rider as well. Anna Meares, all power. Spindly form, almost spindly form of Victoria Pendleton.
Yeah,
it's about power to weight ratio, good acceleration at high speeds.
But Meares is in imperious form, and of course she's inspired riding against her, or in front of her home crowd. Formerly from Queensland, now based in Adelaide.
Pendleton performed well at the front there. I'm wondering if she wants to try that again. Already started to gain some height, which helps give the element of surprise. You have the opportunity to dive down the bank and get a fast acceleration.
Well, it'll be the bell this time. Now then, can Victoria Pendleton, Queen Victoria, can she win race 2 and force this to a decider? Well, she's putting the bruises and soreness behind her, and she must be sore after that fall. Here we go then. Meares is starting to lead this one out. Here comes a challenge then from Pendleton. Can Pendleton get round Meares as they come into the finishing straight? No, she sat up. Meares clenches her fist. 2-0, she said. That's a sweet victory. I've won it 2-0 and go into the final.
Well, she did come outside of the sprinter's line there, and it was marginal. It didn't look intentional, but she came out by some degree, and it definitely had an impact on Victoria Pendleton. It'll just be interesting there to see how the judges view that. It used to be when they hit the last 200 metres, you had to stay inside the line if you'd gone there, but it is actually now when the sprint is launched from wherever that was. Well, we can see here that the sprint is well underway, and Anna Meares drifts quite well outside there.
Nearly a collision.
Does put her own opponents off track, so let's wait and see what happens there.
There was nearly a collision. Computer is showing that Meares has won 2-0 to go into the final.
The judges are conferring in the middle.
Yes, well, there's a change, and Meares has been relegated and Pendleton has been awarded the victory in race 2. So we are going to get a decider.
Speed building already. Still got more than 2 laps to go in this race. Victoria Pendleton would like to keep that front position this time. Meares building the height and starting to accelerate.
Pendleton is the more pure sprinter from the two. Meares, of course, from a 500-metre time trial background. 1.5 laps to go. The atmosphere here, electric.
Well, it's slow now.
Oh, Meares has gone for the inside position. And you said you'd have liked to have seen Pendleton riding this one from the front. It's the bell, 1 lap to go. The winner here will go into the final. Oh, they almost clashed again there. Now then, Meares still watching where Pendleton is. Now here we are, half a lap to go. Meares is now committed herself. Here comes the reaction then from Pendleton, 5 times the world champion from Great Britain. I reckon Pendleton's going to do it. Oh! I think Meares may have got it. It's going to be a photo finish. It's showing Victoria Pendleton on the screen, but it was very, very close indeed. It was extremely close, and the crowd, well, they just do not know who to applaud. Screen shows Pendleton, but I would like to see a side shot of that.
We've seen it flipped before already.
Well, let me just tell you, it's now showing Pendleton as the winner. So she's beaten Meares 2-1, and look at Jan van Eyden's face. Celebrations in the British camp here down in the well of the track. Well, psychologically, Chris, that is going to be a fantastic bonus for Pendleton.
Well, I said she fatigues as the competition goes on, and I think just trying to intimidate her there.
Muted applause in the arena, Chris. Here's a chance to have a look at it again.
Silence is deafening, isn't it? I think trying to intimidate her, and this reminded me when they first used to ride against each other, and she used to try and rough her up, and I think that was exactly the wrong thing to do here. That gave her the spark, the aggression to say, right, I'm not having that. And she chased that wheel, and there's no way. We get a front shot now, you can see Victoria Pendleton's face, and she was not going to let that one go. No,
she said, I am going to win this. I've been the 5 times world champion, and I'm the current Olympic champion. You're not going to stop me going through to the final. But that's how close it was. Let's have a look at the side shot. I was almost afraid to call it.
Who's got the longest arms, really, isn't it?
Let's have a look at it. Oh.
Yeah.
Now then, let's draw the lines across. There's a gasp. Oh, how close can you get? Pendleton then goes through to the final.
In the other semi-final, Simona Kripkaita of Lithuania cruised past Shalika of Ukraine. Meares then beat the Ukrainian to take bronze, not the medal she wanted, in front of her adoring home crowd.